It was supposed to be just another routine. A regular Wednesday, rushing off to a photo shoot for a new sportswear brand, one more post, one more story, everything perfectly scripted, painfully familiar. But this time, things didn't go as planned. At 4:03 p.m., I posted a series of photos. They were good, honestly, some of my best. New workout set, light makeup, confidence in my eyes. The caption was simple, feeling strong today, flexed biceps #boss mode. I put my phone down and didn't even refresh the stats every 5 minutes like I usually did. An hour later, my phone started buzzing nonstop. At first, I thought, wow, is this my viral moment? But when I opened Instagram, my stomach dropped. Brittany. My ex-friend, my former project partner, someone I trusted. She had posted this. My face. The exact same shot, but with a new caption. When you think you're an influencer but look like a 2020s meme fail face with tears of joy. Over 500 comments in the first few minutes. Savage, no wonder she's your ex-friend, lol. Face though. People tagging friends, sharing it in their stories with even crueler captions. I sat down at my kitchen table, staring at the screen. My fingers trembled, not from hurt. From rage. Something snapped inside me. Brittany knew exactly where to hit. She knew social media wasn't just pictures, it was my reputation, my career, my name. And she did it anyway. Just a week ago, we were texting about a joint project. Love working with you, she'd said. Lies. My first instinct? Clap back. Loud. Public. But I stopped myself. I took a sip of cold coffee and smiled. This won't be a quick war. This is going to be a long game. And I play it better than she can imagine. My name is Jessica Carter, I'm 28. I work as a social media manager and always saw myself as calm and calculated. My biggest weapon? A sharp mind and precision with words. I never played dirty, until Brittany came along. It's been 3 days since her attack. 3 long days of sleepless nights, scrolling through comments that tore me apart. I stayed silent. Held back. But today? Today everything changes. I was sitting in a cafe, fingers scrolling over the screen. The same photo still glared back at me, my face, my failure, her caption. Brittany is riding high. New collabs, new followers, all built on my humiliation. And while she's basking in glory, I've been building my plan. My phone rang. Lauren. My best friend and, honestly, my behind-the-scenes strategist. You ready to take this all the way? Her voice was dry and serious. More than ever. Brittany forgot who I am. I build stories on social media. And this time, the story's about her. I stepped out of the cafe, smiling to myself. The first trap was already set. And Brittany had no idea that this time, she was the target. A week had passed since I set the first trap, and Brittany was still basking in her fake glory. Her follower count had spiked by nearly 15,000, and her latest posts were dripping with new brand deals, fitness teas, skincare lines, the usual suspects. She looked untouchable. Untouchable, and completely unaware. I kept watching from the shadows, playing my part. Lauren and I had spent days crafting a flawless fake profile, someone Brittany would never suspect. Camilla James was born, wellness enthusiast, clean aesthetic, California-based, with a decent sprinkling of fabricated followers and engagement. It didn't take long for Camilla to slide into Brittany's DMs with just the right mix of admiration and subtle manipulation. Obsessed with your vibe. I'd written from the fake account. Would love to collab one day, love connecting with real ones who keep it 102 hearts. Of course Brittany responded within hours. Ego candy always worked. OMG babe, yes. I'm all about lifting up other women's sparkling heart, let's chat soon. Fake. Scripted. Predictable. But it worked. I played it slow. Camilla wasn't desperate, she was cool, strategic, a bit mysterious. Just enough to intrigue Brittany but not overwhelm her. I commented, I shared her posts, I hyped her up in stories. It was a familiar game, one Brittany had mastered herself, but this time, she didn't know she was being outplayed. Meanwhile, Lauren was digging deeper. Look at this, she said one night, sending me screenshots of public records and Reddit threads. Turns out Brittany's new skincare sponsor? Total scam. Class action lawsuit pending. If she's smart, she'll back out, but you and I both know she's too addicted to the attention. I smirked at my phone. Perfect. Let's make sure she doubles down. The next few days were a blur of small moves, pushing Brittany to hype the product harder, creating buzz from Camilla's account about how life-changing it was, seeding subtle doubts in the comments to stir the pot. Every post Brittany made felt like watching someone add bricks to their own downfall. But it wasn't just about exposing her shady partnerships. I wanted something deeper, something that would shake the foundation of her perfect facade. One evening, as I lay in bed scrolling, a DM from Brittany's personal account popped up. To Camilla, of course. Girl, I feel like we have such a good vibe. Wanna hop on a call this week? 2 hearts. I stared at the message, my heart racing. This was it, the moment I'd been waiting for. A chance to get even closer. Totally. I typed back, keeping it breezy. I'll text you my number. Lauren was already on it. We'll route the call through a burner app, she said. You keep it light. Just let her talk. Trust me, she'll overshare. She wasn't wrong. The call was scheduled for Thursday night. I sat alone in my apartment, phone on speaker, notes app open. When Brittany's voice rang out, bright, sugary, fake, I had to clench my fists to keep my cool. Camilla. Babe, I'm so glad we connected. Honestly, I'm just dying lately. The pressure, the deals, the hate. Ugh. I made sympathetic noises, let her ramble. And ramble she did. About trolls, about ex-friends, no prizes for guessing who, about how exhausting it was to keep up the perfect image. It's like, no one gets how hard this is, she whined. I mean, yeah, sometimes you gotta fake stuff. Everyone does it. Bingo. Totally, I said, keeping my tone warm. Like those product deals? Sometimes you just have to stretch the truth a bit. She laughed, a little too hard. Oh my God, yes. Babe, if these people knew half the crap I pull behind the scenes? Dead skull. I kept her talking, fishing gently. By the end of the call, I had enough dirt to fill a novel, and Lauren was already transcribing key quotes. When we hung up, I sat in silence, heart thumping. I could feel it, the cracks were there. Brittany's perfect empire wasn't just fragile, it was rotting from the inside. And I was ready to set fire to it. The next phase of my plan was precision. No chaos, no messy drama, just slow, methodical pressure, the kind Brittany wouldn't notice until it was too late. It started with a whisper. Lauren helped me set up a throwaway account, one that looked like a harmless gossip page. We began posting vague stories. A big influencer caught faking product reviews. I stay tuned for receipts. Nothing specific, nothing directly pointing to Brittany. Yet. But online, suggestion is everything. Within a day, the comments on Brittany's latest post turned sharp. Is this the brand you love or the one you're faking it for? Face with tears of joy. LOL, I swear I saw something shady about this girl on a gossip page. I watched as Brittany doubled down, posting more stories, ramping up her positivity, clinging to her polished image like it was a life raft. Classic panic response. Meanwhile, Camilla, my alter ego, kept playing the long game. I slid into Brittany's DMs with innocent questions, pretending to be concerned. Hey babe, just saw a weird rumor floating around about influencers faking their collabs, hope you're good. 2 hearts. She replied within minutes, defensive and a little desperate. Ugh, haters are so jealous. Honestly, it's disgusting. People are obsessed with tearing strong women down. Predictable. But I could feel it, the cracks were widening. One afternoon, Lauren and I met at her apartment, laptops open, phones buzzing. "She's starting to sweat," Lauren said, scrolling through Brittany's latest Q&A on her stories. "Look at this, she's literally addressing the gossip now." "Defensive much?" I smiled, sipping my coffee. "Perfect. The more she talks, the guiltier she looks." But despite my satisfaction, there was a tightness in my chest I couldn't ignore. At night, lying in bed, I stared at the ceiling, my mind racing. Was I going too far? I'd wanted justice, yes, but was this turning into something uglier? Lauren noticed. "You're quiet lately," she said during one of our late-night calls. Second thoughts? I hesitated. It's just, watching her scramble, seeing how fast everything is unraveling, it feels good. But also, I don't know. I didn't think it would feel this personal. Lauren's voice softened. "Jess, she humiliated you. Publicly. You're just holding her accountable. Don't let guilt mess with your head." I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. "Yeah. You're right." But deep down, I knew this wasn't just about accountability anymore. This was about power. Control. And I'd be lying if I said it didn't feel addictive. 2 days later, the first brand deal dropped. I was mid-scroll when I saw Brittany's story, a cheerful boomerang of her holding a skincare kit, captioned, "Excited for this collab, oh wait, not anymore, face with steam from nose, #disappointed, #betrayed." I blinked, rereading it twice. Lauren texted me within seconds. "We got one." The skincare brand pulled out. We both knew why. Our whispers, our little nudges, had worked. The brand must have caught wind of the growing rumors and bailed to protect its image. I felt a rush of triumph, and a jolt of something colder. This was real now. Brittany was losing money, credibility, everything. Later that night, my phone buzzed with a DM, from Brittany. "Camilla, have you seen what's happening? This is insane. I'm freaking out." I stared at the message, my thumb hovering over the keyboard. The old me, the naive, loyal friend, might have comforted her. But that girl was gone. Instead, I typed, "Hang in there, babe. These trolls always move on. Stay strong, 2 hearts. Fake words for a fake friendship." As I put my phone down, I caught my reflection in the dark window. My face looked calm, composed. But inside? A storm. This wasn't over. It was just beginning. The dominoes were falling faster than I'd imagined. By the end of the week, Brittany had lost not one, but 2 brand deals. One of them, her biggest partnership yet, posted a vague but telling statement on Instagram: "We take integrity seriously and are re-evaluating all influencer relationships." Ouch. Her comments section turned into a war zone. Half her followers blindly defended her, the other half demanded answers. And Brittany? She was spiraling, posting long captions about jealous haters, making teary-eyed videos about how no one knows the truth. It was almost too easy. Almost. Because just when I thought I had full control, Brittany made a move I didn't see coming. She went on the attack. One morning, I woke up to a flood of notifications, not from my real account, but from Camilla's. Brittany had tagged Camilla in a cryptic story, "Be careful who you trust, collision, some people aren't who they seem." My stomach flipped. Lauren called immediately. "She's suspicious. She's fishing." I stared at my screen, heart pounding. "Do you think she knows?" "Not exactly," Lauren said. "But she's sniffing around. You played it too well, she's starting to sense something's off." I bit my lip. This was the risk. The closer I got, the higher the stakes became. And now? Brittany was cornered, and cornered people are dangerous. "She's DMing Camilla," I said, watching the new message appear. "Camilla, can we talk? I feel like something's not right." I took a breath. I need to keep playing it cool. Lauren hesitated. Jess, be careful. We're at the edge now. One wrong move and she'll blow this up. I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. I know. I typed back from Camilla's account, OMG, of course. What's going on? You okay? Minutes later, Brittany was pouring her heart out, again. This time, though, her tone was sharper, edgier. I just feel like there are fake friends everywhere. Someone's sabotaging me. And honestly? I'm starting to think it's someone close. Close. The word hit like a dart. Brittany was circling the truth, even if she didn't know it yet. But then she said something that made me freeze. I keep thinking about Jessica, she wrote. I mean, we were so tight, and then everything just changed. Do you know her? I stared at the message, blood rushing in my ears. This was it, the moment I'd both dreaded and expected. Camilla had to respond. Carefully. I typed, I don't know her personally, babe, just saw you two tagged each other before. Why? You think she's behind this? Brittany replied almost instantly. Maybe. I mean, she's been silent since everything blew up. It's weird, right? I clenched my jaw. The irony was unbearable. She never seemed like the type, Camilla wrote back, fingers shaking. But you never know who's jealous out there. Brittany sent a sad face emoji. True. I exhaled slowly, my heart pounding. That was close, too close. Lauren texted, we need to be ready. She's getting reckless. And if she starts throwing your name around publicly. I finished the sentence in my head, it could all come crashing down. That night, I sat alone in my apartment, staring at my reflection. I'd started this for justice. For payback. But now? It was a delicate game of survival. One slip, and Brittany's rage would burn everything. But I wasn't done yet. If Brittany wanted to play with fire, I was ready to burn brighter. Everything was tightening like a noose. By now, Brittany's desperation had spilled fully into the public eye. Her stories were a carousel of defensive rants and teary confessions, hashtags like #fakefriends and #betrayed splashed everywhere. And though she hadn't named names yet, I knew my time was running out. Lauren and I met up at our usual cafe, laptops open between us, nerves frayed. She's getting bolder, Lauren said, scrolling through Brittany's latest story. Look at this, she's basically asking her followers to guess who's behind it all. I leaned in, reading the text, sometimes the ones closest to you are the snakes. Snake, you know who you are. I exhaled slowly. She's circling me. Lauren nodded. We need to end this. Fast. We had one card left to play, a big one. Remember that call with Brittany, the one where she bragged about faking deals and lying to her followers? Lauren had been working on turning those recordings into something airtight. This is it, Lauren said, sliding her laptop toward me. On the screen was a polished, 2-minute video, Brittany's voice, clear as day, saying things like, everyone fakes stuff, and if people knew half the crap I pull, they'd freak. I stared at it, my heart pounding. This wasn't just gossip anymore. This was proof. Are you sure? I whispered. Lauren's eyes met mine. Jess, you've come this far. She tried to destroy you. This? This is just the truth. I hesitated for a long moment. Then nodded. We uploaded the clip anonymously, through that same gossip account we'd used before. No commentary, no captions, just the raw footage. It exploded. Within hours, Twitter was ablaze. TikTokers were dissecting every word. Instagram was flooded with reaction videos. #Brittany exposed trended by nightfall. I watched it all unfold from my apartment, my phone lighting up nonstop. Part of me felt exhilarated, powerful. Another part, deep down, felt a twist of guilt. But there was no going back now. Brittany's response came quickly. A shaky, tear-filled live video where she insisted the clips were taken out of context and that she was being targeted by jealous people. But it was too late. The damage was done. Her follower count started dropping. Brands issued statements cutting ties. Even her most loyal fans were turning on her. Lauren called me late that night. "It's over," she said simply. I stared out my window at the city lights, my heart heavy. "Yeah," I whispered. "It's over." But as I put down my phone, I couldn't help but wonder, was it really? The fallout was brutal and mesmerizing. Within days of the leaked recording, Britney's world crumbled. Brand after brand severed ties, some posting formal apologies to their customers for poor judgment in choosing her as a partner. Her follower count bled out, dropping by tens of thousands daily. Gossip sites updated hourly, tracking every messy move. I should have felt triumphant. I wanted to feel triumphant. But instead, I was haunted by a strange hollowness, like standing in a room after a storm has ripped through, silent, but wrecked. Lauren noticed immediately. "This is what you wanted," she reminded me one night as we debriefed over video chat. "Don't second-guess yourself now." I nodded, half-heartedly. "Yeah. I know." But things weren't done unraveling. 2 days later, Britney made her next move, a bold one. She went live on Instagram, her face pale but defiant. "I know everyone's been watching the fallout," she began, voice trembling slightly, "and I want to say this, I've made mistakes. But someone has been deliberately sabotaging me. Someone I trusted." My stomach tightened. She kept going. "I've been quiet out of respect, but it's time people know the truth. Jessica Carter, yeah, you know who you are, you've been behind this from the start." I froze. Lauren called within seconds. "Jess. Are you seeing this?" "Yeah," I whispered, staring at my screen. "She just named me." My heart pounded as Britney continued, weaving a carefully spun tale of betrayal. She claimed I'd plotted against her out of jealousy, that I'd weaponized social media to destroy her career. Her fans, starving for a villain, latched onto it instantly. Comments flooded in. "Wow Jess, that's low face with steam from nose." Unfollowed. "Can't believe you'd do that." I sat back, numb, as the tide turned. "She's flipping it," Lauren said, her voice sharp with disbelief. "She's making you the bad guy." I laughed bitterly. "And it's working." Within hours, my own DMs turned toxic, strangers accusing me of everything Britney had claimed. My professional page saw a small but sharp dip in followers. Even old acquaintances messaged me, "Hey, are you okay? Did you really do all that?" Panic crept in. Lauren texted again, "We need to get ahead of this. You have proof, everything we planned, all the steps. Screenshots. Call logs. You're not the villain here." But staring at my phone, I realized something terrifying. Britney didn't need proof. She had the audience, and their loyalty was a weapon more powerful than facts. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept refreshing my notifications, watching the comments swing between hate and hesitant support. My anxiety spiraled. Had I pushed too far? Had my own game backfired? Around 3 a.m., Lauren messaged, "Whatever you decide next, I've got your back." I stared at those words, feeling the weight of every choice I'd made up to now. This wasn't over. It was just evolving. The days that followed felt like walking through fire. Every time I opened my phone, I was met with a flood of hate. DMs from strangers, angry comments under my posts, even a few emails from old clients asking for clarification. Britney's smear campaign was working. She didn't have evidence, she didn't need it. Her narrative had taken root, and it was growing fast. Lauren and I met up in person this time, both of us running on caffeine and adrenaline. "We can't let this slide," Lauren said, eyes blazing. "You need to make a statement. Set the record straight." I shook my head. "If I respond directly, it just feeds her story. That's what she wants, a public feud." Lauren sighed, scrolling through her phone. So what's the plan? Just sit back and let her burn your name? I stayed quiet, staring at the wall. The truth was, I didn't have a plan. Not yet. I was exhausted, humiliated, and, for the first time since this whole thing began, truly scared. But then, a message changed everything. It came from an unexpected source, a lawyer who followed me on Instagram, someone I'd worked with briefly years ago. She DM'd me a simple line. Hey Jessica. Noticed something interesting in Brittany's latest brand deals. Want to chat? I blinked, my heart skipping. I messaged back immediately, and within hours we were on a Zoom call. She's been careless, the lawyer, Natalie, explained, pulling up documents on her screen. Some of the contracts she posted screenshots of? They're legally questionable. Especially this one, her skincare collab. It looks like she used fake testimonials and violated FTC guidelines. I leaned closer, my pulse racing. Wait, are you saying she broke the law? Natalie nodded. Technically? Yes. And with the right push, it could become a serious problem for her, especially now that everyone's watching. I sat back, my mind whirring. This wasn't social media drama. This was legal ground, and Brittany had just stepped into a minefield. Lauren was thrilled when I told her. This is huge. Jess, this could clear your name and shut her down for good. But I wasn't ready to make a move yet. Not without thinking it through. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. For weeks, I'd been playing Brittany's game, social media wars, whisper campaigns, shadow tactics. But now? Now I had something real. Something undeniable. And for the first time in a long while, I felt powerful. For the first time in weeks, I felt like I was holding the cards. Natalie wasted no time. By Monday morning, she had drafted a formal letter outlining Brittany's violations, clear, professional, and devastating. It wasn't a lawsuit, yet, but it was a shot across the bow, a legal warning that carried weight. We'll send it to her directly and CC her brand partners, Natalie explained over the phone. It'll rattle her cage, and if she's smart, she'll back down fast. Lauren was ecstatic. This is it, Jess. You're hitting her where it hurts. But I was quiet, staring at the draft on my laptop. Do you think she'll fight back? Lauren hesitated. She might. But now it's real. She can't spin her way out of legal trouble. By Tuesday afternoon, the email was sent. The silence that followed was eerie. No posts from Brittany. No cryptic stories. No new selfies. Her account, usually a flurry of constant activity, went still for 48 hours straight, a record for her. But on Thursday, she broke the silence. A post, glossy, filtered, but her eyes looked tired. I want to address the rumors, she wrote in the caption. I've always prided myself on honesty, and while mistakes have been made, I'm working with my legal team to clear everything up. Thank you to my real supporters for sticking with me. Sparkling heart. I stared at the screen, heart thudding. No direct mention of me. No denials. But between the lines? Panic. Lauren messaged immediately. She shook. You can tell. Natalie confirmed it too. My contacts say she's scrambling behind the scenes. Brands are nervous. For the next few days, I watched from a distance, keeping my own pages quiet. I wanted no part in the public mess anymore, I was done playing in the mud. But Brittany wasn't done. Late Saturday night, I got a text from an unknown number. Jess, can we talk? I stared at it, my pulse quickening. A second message followed. It's Brittany. I blinked, frozen for a moment. Then I showed the screen to Lauren, who was over at my place that night. She's reaching out, I whispered. Lauren's eyes narrowed. Careful. This could be a trap. But something in me shifted. I was tired of the games, the whisper campaigns, the hidden daggers. If Brittany wanted to talk, I was ready. Let's set a meeting, I typed back. And for the first time since this nightmare began, I felt in control. We met at a small, out-of-the-way cafe, neutral ground, away from prying eyes. Lauren had insisted on coming with me, but I told her no. This was something I had to face alone. Brittany was already there when I arrived, sitting stiffly at a corner table. She looked different. Smaller, somehow. Her hair was perfectly done, makeup flawless, but her eyes were tired, guarded. "Jessica," she said as I sat down, her voice tight. "Brittany." We stared at each other for a long moment, neither of us speaking. The air between us felt heavy, dense with everything unsaid. Finally, she broke the silence. "I didn't come here to fight." I raised an eyebrow. "No? What did you come for?" She sighed, fiddling with her straw. "I want this to stop. The legal stuff, everything. It's gotten out of hand." I leaned back. "It got out of hand when you dragged my name through the mud." Her jaw tightened. I was angry. I felt attacked. I lashed out. "That's not an excuse," I said coldly. "You didn't just lash out. You tried to ruin me." She flinched but recovered quickly. "Look, we both messed up. Can't we just let it go? Move on?" I stared at her, my pulse steady. "You want me to drop it?" She hesitated, then nodded. "Yes." "And what do I get in return?" I asked, my tone razor sharp. Brittany looked down, her bravado cracking. "I'll clear your name. Publicly. Say I was wrong, that you weren't behind anything. I'll make it right." For a brief second, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. But then I remembered the sleepless nights, the humiliation, the hate. And the fire inside me hardened. "I don't need your apology," I said quietly. "I have the truth. And the law. That's enough." She stared at me, her eyes shining with something close to panic. "Please, Jess. I'm begging." I stood up, grabbing my purse. "You should have thought of that before you made me your enemy." Without another word, I walked out, leaving her sitting there, alone in her perfect little bubble, now cracked and caving in. Outside, the air felt crisp and sharp. I took a deep breath, my hand steady for the first time in what felt like forever. It was over. But I knew deep down, this wasn't the last time I'd have to fight. And next time? I'd be ready from the start.